Well, hello everyone. I'm out here in my lovely backyard and enjoying all the green and the trees. But this weather we've been having is really great. It's been cooling off, although it's supposed to heat back up to the mid 90s, I guess, this week. But fall begins, I think, next Saturday. Yeah, fall officially begins, and sometimes in the mornings it's down in the low 50s, and wearing a little coat even if you go out early. So I've just been enjoying this. It's changing. Remember, it was like 105 not long ago, right? And the Lord has blessed us. Seems like the smoke isn't here like it used to be, and it's cooling off, and the leaves are actually just starting to change on a few trees. Not many, not quite there yet. But it will be soon. And I love our backyard because it totally changes. All that's green back here, it all falls off and changes, and the world keeps spinning, and God has built into His creation things that speak of His faithfulness. And I probably say this all the time, but I just love that the sun comes up in the morning, and you don't have to worry about it. Like, hey, is the sun really going to come up today? I'm a little nervous. No, we can depend upon it because God built faithfulness into His creation, and it speaks of Him and His personal faithfulness to His promises. And He doesn't change like shifting shadows. Jesus Christ is the same today, tomorrow, and forever, right? That's what the Bible tells us. And so the seasons and things around us, they change, but it's dependable. It's faithful like God. And I always get a little bit, sentimental maybe about this time of year, thinking, the holidays are coming and being with family and food and good times, and the weather changes and it gets dark and it's cold. And I don't know, I just love it, partly because we have such hot summers, I think, around here. So the cool is really welcome, I think, for us in our neck of the woods. And a little passage I want to read to you. Let's see if I can do this. I don't have my tripod with me today. Come back out where it's a passage in Ecclesiastes. Okay, Ecclesiastes. And I've read this at funerals before, but it just kind of make you think about life. And I guess, my birthday's coming up, and you think about, for myself, I'm middle-aged, and you think, well, how much life is left and how much I've lived, and you contemplate these things. And so let me read to you Ecclesiastes. This is chapter 3, starting in verse 1. It says, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the sun." Well, our seasons are changing, right? But there's different times of life for certain things. And he says a time to be born and a time to die. I know our children, we had a time when they were born and they were little babies, and now, we got 3 in college and 1 still in high school. But, that seasons of life and changes. Seems like life is always kind of changing. It's one thing you can always count on. It's going to change. But there's a time to be born and a time to die, and I read this at funerals. And this is how God has it for us during this life, right? A time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love, a time to hate, a time for war, and a time for peace. And this is life, and there's always a time for something going on in our life. And I don't know where you're at in your moment, in your days. Maybe you're it's a time of weeping, or maybe it's a time of laughing. Or maybe you get both, you know, I don't know. Maybe you're mourning, or you're dancing, or you're searching, or you're giving up the search. Um, Life is beginning, you're young, things are exciting, and the world is big, or you're old and it's, well, death is something that you're looking at, you know? I mean, we all have these times and seasons, but you know what? God is there in the midst of it all, okay? When that new little baby is born or that person dies, God is still there in the midst of it all. And He loves you, and He cares for you. He has a plan for you. And life is difficult, and life is wonderful. And God is really all that matters. That we love Him and focus upon Him, put Him first and foremost in our life. We're going to talk about this coming Sunday, about the cost of following Jesus. And Jesus says, if you don't give up everything you have, you cannot even be my disciple. So in this life, we want to learn to give everything to Christ and live for Him, because He's what truly will last and will matter, because this world will all fade away, and we are fading away as I speak. But the Lord is with us, okay? So I want you to take heart today and focus on Jesus. Continue to do that. And He's with you in every season and every time and in all the circumstances. And you can find joy and you can find peace in Him. So, well, brothers and sisters, I bless you today in the name of Jesus. Whatever the time is for you and whatever you're doing, might you do it with your eyes fixed on Jesus. And He will help you through. Yep. All right. Well, I love you guys. I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye.